thanks to Mayor Kaplan and other leaderships in the city of Lauderhill, you all are able to participate in this program. Portions of this program are available to residents in Broward County. Other residents are not so fortunate, and that's purely dependent upon some leadership has decided to participate and some have not. So basically, I'm going to let you know about this toilet rebate program between Broward County and various municipalities within Broward County. And it's called the Broward County Water Conservation Incentives Program. And this is the toilet rebate aspect. Before we get into exactly the purpose of this presentation was Michael Schenkel actually called me out here. He set up a lot of them. Many of you may know him. He created a flyer, he created a lot of the displays. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here tonight, but he set this presentation up and asked me to be here. And basically, he's really into water conservation and asked me to come out to explain his program to folks because he believes it's very, very important. So this whole thing's under the name of the Broward Water Partnership. And what's the Broward Water Partnership? It consists of 18 municipalities and water utilities who have come together to help save water, money, and the environment. These partners include Coconut Creek, Cooper City, Coral Springs, Broward County Water and Wastewater Services, my agency, Broward County Natural Resources Planning and Management Division, Dania Beach, Davie, Deerfield, Fort Lauderdale, Hallandale Beach, Hollywood, Hillsborough Beach, Lauderhill, Margate, Miramar, Pines, Plantation, Sunrise, and of course it's supported by the South Florida Water Management District. Another component to this program besides the toilet rebate is, excuse me for a moment. The incentives portion of this program, where applicants are allowed to have free low-flow shower heads, which Sharon will be coordinating the handing out of after the presentation. These use less water, and again, because of leadership in Lauderhill, that is available to residents at free of cost. So that's two components of the program. There's the toilet rebate aspect, and then there's the water-saving device aspect of the program. But this particular presentation will focus on the toilet rebate aspect. So basically, a lot of folks have questions about who qualifies, what allows you to qualify, what may disqualify you. Here's a few disclaimers about the program. You must receive pre-approval prior to purchasing the toilet. You can't go out and buy the toilet and then come back to us. Some people have, we're willing to work with them, but you really shouldn't because there's certain things that may disqualify you. You may buy a toilet thinking you get a rebate, and then unfortunately you apply after the fact and you're not allowed to get a rebate. So please get pre-approval prior to purchasing the toilet. You must own and reside in the home. It cannot be a rental property. You must be replacing a toilet that currently uses above 1.6 gallons per flush. Many folks have asked them, how much water does your toilet in your house use? They look at me like I have 3 heads because that's usually not a common knowledge to most folks. But the way we have some information on how to help you figure that out, sometimes, and again, hundreds of different manufacturers, hundreds of different toilets. These are, unfortunately, it's not one size fits all. Different manufacturers place this name and number in different places. But if you want to find out, is my toilet above a 1.6? Again, because your toilet has to be above 1.6 gallons per flush for us to replace it. So how would you find that out? Sometimes it's stamped, you know, when you lift up the lid, there's a little space between the lid and the tank. Sometimes it's there. If you take off the lid on the inside of the tank, sometimes it's there. Sometimes it's behind it, sometimes it's on the side. I wish I could tell you, again, it's one size fits all, but with so many different manufacturers, they place it all over the place. Some toilets have no numbers or anything laid on top of it. So then we kind of look inside the tank. And if there's a large black plastic cylinder, then your toilet is probably a newer toilet and it wouldn't qualify. And then last but not least, if you couldn't find any numbers and you weren't sure about the black plastic cylinder, there's a little bit of formula here. So whoever's some good at mathematics, we can help you out there and you can find out if your toilet's above a 1.6. Some more information about the program. It's a maximum of 2 toilets per household, up to $100 each. So toilet A would be up to $100, and toilet B would be up to $100. You can't combine the two and say, oh, I got this one for $80 and I got this one for $150. Can I get the difference now? Toilet A is up to $100. Toilet B is up to $100. They're completely separate entities. When I say up to, folks say, what does that mean? Well, if you buy a toilet for $88, you're going to get $88 back. You're not going to get the 88 plus 12. So basically, that's what that up to means. If you go below $100, you will get that amount that you went below $100. If you go well above $100, you're still maximum of up to $100. But again, that's $100 that you don't have to pay for. Yes?
I'm going to just interrupt you. A lot of people ask us whether $88 plus tax or excluding tax.
No, it does not cover tax. We don't cover your plumber's fees. We don't cover your gas on the way to Home Depot and the gas on the way back. No, it's basically the price of the toilet. And there's something called a wax ring and some bolts. These are things that sometimes you may need to do with the toilet. So we'll cover the price of the toilet and the wax ring and the bolts up to $100. But your plumber fee, if you decide to use a plumber, which we don't require, we advise you to use a plumber that knows what they're doing. We don't require it, however. But if you decide to go to the plumber and you pay him or her X amount of dollars, that is outside the scope of the program. It's basically just the toilet and the associated parts you would need to have that toilet installed, up to $100. Correct. Mm-hmm. It has on the website, you'll see that it has the valve as part of the covered price as well. Applicants must, so basically, once you receive the applications, the toilets may be subject to inspection. So once you sign the affidavit, you are agreeing to let the county or somebody who represents the city into your home to verify that you are installing one of these low-flow toilets. The application, once you receive approval, you will have 45 days from the date you receive approval to complete the process. That means 45 days to go check out the toilet, purchase it, install it in the home, and then submit the proof back to us. That's basically most of the program. So now I'm going to get into the aspect of how do I apply for this rebate, because Michael was telling me that some residents were having a little bit of trouble with this. Two ways to apply. There's a application that Sharon has in the back, that's the paper form. That's the slower way, but if you don't have access to the internet, that's the best way. You would fill out this hard application and then mail it into us. The address is located on the bottom of the form. Mail that into us, and then we could start the process that way. And I'm basically going to take you through the process of applying online. I'm told there's a computer in the library here. You all may have the opportunity to log on after this meeting or maybe tomorrow and follow this process here. All these things that I'm about to show you are also on the paper application. The only difference between the electronic application and the paper application is one is on the computer and one is you actually write it by hand. So I'm going to basically walk you through how to apply for the rebate. So this program is called, again, the Water Conservation Incentives Program, and the slogan is Conservation Pays. You'll hear that throughout the entire presentation. If you go to conservationpays.com, which is the homepage for this program, that's what you'll see. A big giant toilet bowl and basically all these different things telling you welcome, here's some things about the program. You're welcome to go through all that. It tells you all kinds of things about the program. But I'm focusing basically on how to get you started with the program. So you see the third one in from the left at the very top, it says give me a rebate. So you go to conservationpays.com and you click on give me a rebate. Takes you to this page. This page basically says, how do you want to apply? Do you want to apply online, or unfortunately this thing's getting cut off, but do you want to apply online, or do you want your application in English, Spanish, or Creole? So you are able to download that application in English, Spanish, or Creole. You see it there, those three green boxes. So you can either apply online or click English, Spanish, or Creole, and it'll come up, you print it out, and you can have a hard copy that way. I'm assuming you're going to apply online, so if you click apply online, this is the first screen. Very basic information, your name, last name, email address. If you don't fill an email address, it won't let you progress, because that is the way we communicate with you. If I review your application and you receive approval, I'm going to send you approval notice via email. So if you leave the email blank or put in the wrong email, you'll never get the confirmation from us. So phone number, do you own? That has to do with the whole rental property thing. I'm on the right side of the screen. Building type, it's going to ask you is it single family, is it townhouse, is it condo, and below that, what year was the home built? Next screen, street address, city code, postal code, and then where the red arrow is where a lot of folks run into a bit of a problem. It's the water utility account number. Many applicants live in multifamilies, as this area here. They live in townhouses, they live in condos, they live in apartments. They say, I don't have my individual water utility bill. We pay it as part of an association. That's fine, and we understand that. But you do have a master account number. That's how the city knows to charge International Village the price it charges them for water. So there is a master utility account number, and the folks who will help organize this said they will help you all secure that number. So you can put that number in the utility account number field. Yes.
We have those. You just have to phone the office, and we'll give you that number. Okay? No problem.
And again, and then the next, onto the other side of the screen to the right, water utility bill. Basically, where does the water bill go to? You can list the Association International Village for that. Almost finished here. So now I put in my address. This little map will put a dot on the map showing where you're located. If you're in a shaded area, you're participating in the program. Just to the north in that little area that's not shaded, like Oakland Park's not a participant. If your dot was to fall there, unfortunately you're not able to participate in the program. So the top of the screen asks you, and it's very hard to see, but basically it asks you how many rebates do you want, 1 or 2? Again, it's up to 2 per household. Below that it asks you how many bathrooms, how many half bathrooms, how long you're going to live there. These aren't really difficult questions. How many people are in the home? Now it gets to the more important question. Is the toilet you are replacing original to the house? That's a very important question. Yes, no, or maybe. Try to choose yes or no. If you choose maybe, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but that causes me to send you an email back providing you with information, because we have guidelines we have to go by, so we have to make certain assumptions. So try to be sure as best as you can that the toilet's original to the house. And then below that is the red arrow. This is the other thing that gets everybody tripped up. In addition to utility account number, it says how many gallons per flush does the toilet I'm replacing use. Again, most people have no idea how many gallons per flush their toilet is. So the idea is to try to get an idea of how much water your toilet uses. You know, a lot of people say, why do you put people through this? Why are you making that? It's basically a program that has funded guidelines, and it's a water conservation program. So basically, if you go to a Home Depot right now, standard building code says your toilet's a 1.6. We're not focused on the 1.6s. We're focused on those monsters that use 5, 7, and 8, and believe me, there are gallons per flush. 1.6 is a relatively new, efficient toilet, which is why we are not allowed to, even if we wanted to. Our funding program do not allow us to focus on the 1.6 because they're simply not even compared to a 5 and a 7 gallon per flush toilet. Those are the ones that use the most water that cause the water bill in this entire development to go through the roof. So we want to get those off the market as best as possible. That's why we're not allowed to use the 1.6s. So as best as possible, try to know if the toilet is original to the home, try to know what year your home is, and also the gallons per flush. This is where it starts to go downhill as far as easiness. How did you hear about the program? And there's a bunch of different ways. Last but not least is the summary screen. This screen will basically review everything you said. It'll show you the name you put in, the email address, the gallons per flush, all the things you typed in. This is the summary screen. And at the very bottom, you can see there is that green button that says submit. Once you click submit, that comes to me. And what happens after that? Allow up to 5 business days for a response. They may ask for more information. This is why I say when the question asks, is the toilet original to the home, and you put maybe, that's going to cause us to send you an email back saying, well, can you please figure it out? Here's some hints on how to, it basically drags the process on. And if you, so say you did everything right the first time, we're on the 3rd bullet now, you're going to receive an approval notice. Please read the approval notice very carefully because it's going to tell you the things that we require for proof, and it's going to tell you the type of toilet that we require. The toilet that must be used is a 1.28 gallon per flush toilet. Anything above that, we do not provide a rebate for. So in other words, the toilet that you buy must be a 1.28 gallon per flush toilet. Again, anything above that does not qualify. So once you get this approval notice, the clock has started on that 45 days, and you have 45 days from the date of the approval notice to complete the entire process. So, am I ready to submit my rebate documents? Well, here's the proof we require. Going from left to right, a copy of the receipt. We want the barcode and the UPC label, and also the WaterSense label from the box. The WaterSense label is that thing that looks like a sideways water droplet that's green and blue. That's basically a certification. You guys have heard of Energy Star? Energy Star is a certification that says this appliance uses energy very efficiently. WaterSense? That's not good. Does anybody have the controls for this? That's somebody telling me to wrap it up?
No, it's not. What's the website?
There might be a control on the wall.
Okay. Okay.
It used to be over here.
Something behind on unless that's the light switch or something. There's a switch on the very back. That's never happened before.
You haven't been here before.
Okay, hopefully you all can still see that. But basically, so going from left to right, there's a copy of the receipt, there's the UPC from the box, and there's the water sense label. The water sense label is that thing that's blue and green. It's basically a certification from the EPA saying this toilet uses less water than your average 1.6. Next to that is something that proves it uses 1.28. Usually these boxes have 1.28 stamped with big right on there. There's it right there. And the last picture is a picture of the toilet installed in the home. These are very simple things that you can get off the box within 5 minutes of seeing the box. And this is the proof that's required for the submittal. And once you have these items, you're welcome to either put that on the website, which is that blue thing right there, rebates.conservationpays.com, or if you're not savvy with the computer, just go ahead and send it in to us via mail, U.S. postal mail, and you see the address there. Same place you'll send the application, 115 South Andrews Avenue, room 329H, Fort Lauderdale. Once we receive that, we'll review it, allow a couple weeks. If you did everything as we'd asked, you get to $100 back per toilet, $200 if you did 2 toilets. And that's basically the process for the toilet rebates. I don't know if you all had any questions. Yes, yes.
Screaming about the two existing.
Kevin.
No.
When you say you didn't get a chance to get a toilet, was the store out or just through your own personal schedule you weren't able to get a toilet? Okay, well, what would happen is 45 days from your application process, your application would basically be kicked out of the system. Then we'd ask you to reapply. As long as supplies last, there won't be any problems. But again, that depends on the demand. Yes?
Do you need a different application for each toilet?
Yeah. You'll see on the application, the hard ones, and on this one too, it says check 1 toilet or 2 toilets. So if you know you're going for 2 toilets, check the 2 box. 1, obviously check the 1 box. If you check 1 and say, oh, I want to come back later for another one, fill out another application and check 1 again. Yes.
Okay, someone had promised that we would have somebody to help us fill out the application. Remember that first
Yeah, I'm going to handle it. Okay, Lisa, I'm going to handle it.
The people who were taking our information had a mistaken idea that if we had 3 toilets, we could get 3. So could that be corrected?
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know anything about that. It's a maximum of 2 toilets per household.
Could you repeat the question?
Oh, I believe the lady was saying something about there was a mistaken statement about 3 toilets per household. This program is a maximum of 2 toilets per household. Yes. The gentleman asked, you mean after you submit your rebate documents? After you submit all your proof?
Don't do anything until
Right, if you see the slide before, it says once you submit that application, well, you can't see it now, but it basically says the hard application or the electronic application, within 5 business days you will receive a response. Of course, it's faster if you do it electronically because it comes right into our office. I can review it and then hit approval. If it's sent U.S. mail, of course it has to go into the post office, sent to us, it gets date stamped, and But basically it's 5 business days from the day we receive the application.
before we get approval.
Right. Correct.
Then you have 45 days.
And then we have 45 days. Now, if we're snowbirds, and the 45 days screws us up, is there any relief on that?
How much time would you need?
I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. We have people who are constantly applying to the program, so we feel that 45 days is a fair time frame, because if we allow any longer than that, it doesn't allow those people who can do it much faster, allow them to apply for the program.
45 days means you go from acceptance to completion, i.e. putting your toilets in, correct?
45 days is after you've been approved, and that's your time to go to the store, buy the toilet, put it in your home, and send them proof to us.
Correct. And if you run out of time, you are out of luck.
No, no. We are in the business of providing the rebate. We're an environmental agency. We want to provide the rebate. As long as you can provide some general idea of why it may be taking longer than 45 days, we'd be happy to extend it a certain amount of time, maybe another 7 business days, maybe another 10 business days, depending on the situation. We want to encourage you to participate. We want to give out the rebates, but we have an auditing firm that goes over everything that we do, so we do have to make sure those guidelines are adhered to. But we will work with you to the best of our ability. We want to give out the rebates. We just need your help in making sure that you fulfill all of our requirements as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Great. Let's give him a hand. I'm going to make this real easy for everybody. I know that this could be a little complicated for some of us. That's why we took your name and your telephone number. We are going to call you. We're going to schedule a time where we're going to sit down with you, and we'll help you with the applications. It is very important. If you can do it on your own, please feel free to do it. If you have some difficulty, do not hesitate. Don't worry. We'll be calling you, and we'll say, do you need help to fill out this application? And then we'll schedule some time. We'll sit down with you. We have a bunch of volunteers that are prepared to do it. We'll sit down with you, fill out the application, and make sure it's done. I would suggest that if you want to mail on your own, you can, or you can bring the application, the hard application, into the office, and we'll take care of making sure that gets down to Broward County. Any other questions about that? Yes.
Why do you have to call the number to
Because we're the only ones that have that number. Because every building is different. Okay? Every building, there's a meter on each building, and that meter is assigned a specific account number. So if you're in Bordeaux, for instance, you have a particular number. If you're in Grenoble, you have another number. So that's why you'll have to phone the office and say, I'm filling this application, can you give me my water account number for Bordeaux or Grenoble or St. Moritz or whatever the case. Yes, Miriam?
Yeah, I applied online and one day and the next day I got the approval.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah, the 5 days is a maximum.
Yeah.
That would give you the worst case scenario. A lot of times it's before that, but if I say 2 days, people will be calling me on the 3rd day. Why didn't I get the approval? So that's why I say maximum of 5 days. And just concerning the proof, always go overboard. Always make it painfully clear that you bought the right toilet. Here's my receipt. Here's my UPC code. Some folks who submit to me, give me half a receipt and cut off certain things. Don't leave anything to my imagination. Make it as clear as day. You bought the right toilet and you bought it and installed it. Show a regular picture, nothing weird, nothing black and white, nothing where I can't see the toilet. Just make it as clear as possible and your rebate will go through like that. You put some ambiguous stuff in there about the picture, I can't tell if it's a toilet or somebody's leg. Believe me, people do that. It causes this whole, well, I'll call you back and I get your voicemail and you call me back, and it delays the process.
Please do not have your better half in the picture. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we want to make this program work. We're going to try to make it as easy as we possibly can. Help us out, though, if you, hold on, Wendy, I saw your hand. If in fact you can do this process by yourself, please do. If you have any difficulty, please do not hesitate. We'll help you out. For those that have signed up, you know that you signed up. We'll call you within the next few days, verifying whether or not you are doing the application on your own or if you need some help. Okay? Yes, ma'am. It's not a mandatory. This is strictly voluntary.
So you don't have to buy a toilet?
No, you don't have to buy a new toilet. Yes, Wendy.
What's that?
Income taxes? For a rebate, that's, I'm honest, you have to ask your accountant, Wendy. I couldn't answer that. Okay? Yes?
If we have a certain number of days, is the village prepared for a deluge of people who will want their toilets removed and installed?
Sure, because it's the 45 days is not fixed. It's not a fixed 45 days. It's not the same 45 days. So you can come to see me tomorrow and you get approved, let's say in 5 days, then your 45 days starts in 5 and 45. So it's staggered, so there'll be no problem. No, none whatsoever. Okay? Yes?
Yeah, no question regarding the proof of receipt and everything that we have to submit for the rebate. A gentleman up at the front told me that we have the option, if we don't want to go to Home Depot ourselves to buy a toilet, that it will be provided here. Do we then at that time?
We are looking at purchasing some for ourselves because we do have some people in the village that don't have the ability to go out and actually buy the toilets themselves. So what we'll do is buy a few toilets ourselves. You can come into the office and actually purchase directly from the village. Yes, yes, Dr. Richmond.
Program, every time somebody says, ask you if they will be available, I have to give the same answer, that it's subject to availability. But this program expires October 1 and it gets renewed October 1. So if everything goes well, October 1, there'll be another set of rebates available and the program will renew itself.
But I suggest that we, first come, first serve. I think we are one of the very first communities that has taken this initiative. So let's take advantage of it. It's a really inexpensive way for you to get brand new toilets and for the village to save money. Any other questions? Yes, Miriam.
What if I buy the toilets on my own? How would I get in touch with the plumber to put them in?
Pick up the phone and phone a plumber.
I mean, your plumber.
Sorry, Miriam, but that's the most direct answer I can give you. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, before we leave, I'm going to make you a suggestion. Pick up an application from Sharon, whether or not you consider you're going to do this electronically or hard copy. At least you'll have the application and you can understand the paper hard copy before you go to the email copy. Okay? Thanks, folks. By the way, there's coffee and cake. Help yourself. Yes, Sharon. Hold on. Sharon wants to say something. By the way, yeah, Sharon, I'm going to handle that differently. Okay, okay, folks, coffee and cake. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Yes. How are you doing?
Hey, nice to see you. Hello there.
Okay.